A presidential candidate in Ecuador has been assassinated. Fernando Villavicencio was gunned down, leaving a political rally in the capital of Quito, just 10 days away from the presidential election. In video that is now being reviewed by officials as part of an investigation shows Villavicencio getting into a car, and then gunshots can be heard. ABC's Matt Rivers is in Mexico City now with the latest. Thank you so much for joining us, Matt. Let's jump right into it. Current President Guillermo Lasso announced that August 20th presidential election will go ahead as planned, even after the murder of his rival candidate. How are people receiving this decision? What do they say?
I think as crude or as practical, I guess, depending on your point of view on this, as this might sound, it's who you support in terms of how you might feel about this. Some candidates who are leading, it was Villavicencio, depending on which poll you look at, was somewhere 4th, 5th, 6th in the polling. There are some people who are supporting candidates who are 1st, 2nd, 3rd in the polling, and a lot of those supporters want this to go forward. Constitutionally speaking, what you're hearing from federal officials, including Guillermo Lasso, the current president, is that they don't have a choice, that this must happen on August 20th, and there would be no constitutional reason to suspend this vote. That said, this is an earth-shattering moment for Ecuador. This is the first time in its history that one of its presidential candidates has been assassinated. This is a very prominent man. Villavicencio has been a public figure in Ecuador for a long time. He was an investigative journalist turned legislator. He's running as a reform candidate, and he was very outspoken about corruption amongst Ecuador's ruling elite, including organized crime. He talked recently in public interviews, and has for a long time, about the death threats that he's received as a result of speaking out against organized crime and its relationship with the government there. And he said he wasn't going to be afraid. He was going to keep campaigning. But if you listen to the current president, he says that organized crime was involved in this assassination.
And let's talk more about that. Are there any leads as to who could be behind this?
Yeah, so it's still speculative as of this point. There's been 7 suspects so far that have been arrested by Ecuadorian authorities, one of whom was actually killed after getting in a confrontation with police. What we've heard from President Lasso is that he's saying organized crime was involved. Who specifically he was talking about, we're not sure. The investigation goes on. But we do know from the candidate who was assassinated himself, Fernando Villavicencio, he said that there was one specific group that he received a series of death threats from. That group connected to a cartel here in Mexico, the famous Sinaloa cartel. Apparently the group that this particular candidate said he got the death threats from, that's a local offshoot of this Mexican cartel. But this investigation still, obviously, in its first 24 hours, needing to play out some more before we get more concrete answers as to who's behind this.
The investigation continues. Matt Rivers, thank you so much for that.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.